So dear students, I am going to tell you about monohybrid cross. So monohybrid cross means that it is a cross in which one contrasting trait is considered. As we already learned that John Krieger Mendel, he performed experiment on Pisum sativum, that is a pea plant, continuously for 7 years. So during his experiment, he explained how the transmission of character take place, and he considered 7 contrasting traits of pea plant on which he performed various experiments. So out of these 7 contrasting traits, if we are considering one contrasting trait to make a cross, that is known as monohybrid cross. So let's see how it takes place. For example, if we are considering one contrasting trait, that is height of the plant. That is height of the plant. So, and what is the meaning of contrasting traits? That means one dominant character and one recessive character. This cross takes place between one dominant character and one recessive character. So, one dominant character and the recessive character altogether, that is known as contrasting traits. So, the dominant character, that is tall, and recessive character is dwarf. And we know very well that dominant characters are always represented by capital letters. So here we will represent it by capital TT, because it shows the diploid structure. So capital TT is there, which is dominant. Why we call it as a dominant? Because the characters which are visible in F1 generation, that is first filial generation. Now the meaning of filial generation. Filial generation means the progeny which we obtained when we made a cross between the dominant characters and the recessive character. So first cross, first progeny what we are getting, that is known as F1 progeny or F1 generation, in which only the dominant character are expressed and recessive characters are hidden. That means in F1 generation, all the progeny are tall. Hidden character is the recessive trait, that is dwarfness. So just see it. This dwarf is a recessive character. So what is the definition of recessive character? Recessive character means the character which are hidden in F1 generation and expressed in F2 generation. So here inferior character is what? Dwarfness of a plant. Now it is represented by the same letter but a small letter. Here tallness is represented by the capital letters. Dwarfness is represented by the same letter but a small one. Alphabet will be the same. For example, instead of this height of the plant, if we select the shape of the seed, the shape of the seed is round and wrinkled. So here round is the dominant character. That means if we are taking capital RR to show the dominant character, then wrinkled, we will use the same alphabet but the small letter. Always remember this thing. Never change the alphabets. The alphabet which we are using to represent dominant character, that the same alphabet we must be used to represent recessive character. Only the difference is the capital letters and the small letters. So now we have to make a cross. If in gamete formation what happens? Haploid structure is formed. So these genes that will be separated. Capital T, and this one, what is formed? Small t, small t. Okay, these are gametes. These are parents. Okay, then what happened when this capital T combined with this capital T, small t, what is formed? Capital T and small t. And the same, if this one combined with this, what is formed? Capital T, small t. Okay, this is F1 generation. This is F1 generation. In F1 generation, whole progeny, although small t is also present in it, then also it is hidden character in phenotypically. That means phenotypically means what? By seeing the external appearance, morphological characters. So phenotypically what we would say? We will say that all the plants are tall, which is our dominant characters. Now, to get the F2 generation, actually F2 generation we are generally represented by Punnett square. It is easy to do. In monohybrid cross, if we are showing the F2 generation by this crossing, it is quite easy. But when we will do for dihybrid cross, it would be difficult. It will not be distinct so much. That is why we are representing F2 generation, we are using the Punnett square, because C. Punnett, the name of the scientist, he represented that a box that is known as Punnett square, in which we will show the F2 generation. So F2 generation I am making here. Now on selfing, how we will get the F2 generation? When we self cross, if we cross among the progeny, what we obtained in F1 generation. For example, we made a cross here. Then what we will get? We will get this different gametes, isn't it? One side what we will get? T, here also small t, capital T, small t. That the same thing we will write here. Capital T, small t, capital T, small t. Just see. This is for F2 generation. Then what will happen? This TT, when we combine together, it come together here. When this T combine with T, then it will be this. When this small t get combined with the capital T, we will get this capital T, small t. When this small t combined with this T, then it is small tt. That means, here what happened? Because one capital T is present in 3. Okay? So phenotypically, phenotypic and genotypic ratio you have to find in both the types of cross, monohybrid as well as dihybrid. So phenotypic, children, means the ratio which depend on the morphological characters. Means by seeing the external appearance. Genetic makeup we cannot see from outside. Genetic makeup we can see by analysis only, by anatomical studies. Okay, so just see here, if we talk about phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio, always remember, depend on morphological character. So phenotypic ratio, that will be 3:1. What is the meaning of this? 3:1 means 3 are tall, 1 is dwarf, because both the small t's are there. So here both the t's, capital T are there, so it is a tall, but it is dominant one. This condition, one capital T, small t, then also morphological, it appear as a tall only because of the presence of capital T with it. Here also one capital T, one small t is there. So here also it will be tall morphologically, not genetically, because genotypic ratio, that depends on genetic makeup or the presence of gene. Okay, so that will be 3:1, means 3 tall, 1 dwarf. But if we talk about the genotypic ratio, genotypic ratio means the ratio which depends on the presence of genes. So just see it. So on the basis of presence of gene, this is different from other three. So we'll write 1 raised to. And these two appear similar, then it is written as 2. This is also different, then we'll write 1. So genotypic ratio, because it is on the basis of genes, that will be 1 raised to 2 raised to 1. It never changes. Either you are taking the height of the plant, or out of 7 contrasting traits, you can choose any one and you can make a cross. But the genotypic and phenotypic ratio remain the same. It is always constant. So for the monohybrid cross, phenotypic ratio is 3 raised to 1. That means 3 appear as a tall, 1 is dwarf. But if we consider about the genotypic ratio is 1 raised to 2 raised to 1. That means 1 is dominantly tall because of the presence of both the genes. That is dominant genes. But 2 that appear as a tall, but actually these are not completely tall. So that is why it is represented by 2. 1 is dwarf because of the presence of 2 recessive genes. Okay, that is 1 raised to 2 raised to 1. It is always constant. In the exam, it can be asked, write the phenotypic and genotypic ratio of monohybrid cross. So that is 3 raised to 1 is a phenotypic ratio. 1 raised to 2 raised to 1 is a genotypic ratio for the monohybrid cross. Okay, and one more thing I want to tell you. If both the capital T's are there, this condition is known as homozygous. Homozygous, yani presence of same type of genes. And this condition, capital T, small t, this is known as heterozygous condition. Heterozygous. Hetero means different. Zygous means the presence of the genes. That means 2 different genes are here. Capital T is small t. So this condition is known as heterozygous. Now you keep on practicing the monohybrid cross by considering other contrasting traits that were considered by the John Gregor Mantel in his experiments. Now I will discuss about dihybrid